It's Wrestlemania season, baby! The pomp, the pageantry, the nouns! When WWE uses all its pocket money that they've been saving throughout the year by having the same boring ass stage on every boring pay-per-view, by splurging on a very big silly structure that humbles you with its sheer Ozymandian hubris, that scrapes the underbelly of God, that squats on the city skyline like Big Show in a sumo nappy. Genuinely, if you're in attendance and you're not afraid that some part of the Mania set will collapse and kill everybody, then they're not doing it right. Which is not to say that there have been some fairly bad stages over the years. For the first 16 WrestleManias, they didn't really do anything special. Someone made a mistake at 18 by leaving the goddamn scaffolding up. Mania 22 had a weird fishnet thing. Why is it like that? Mania 35 was just a case of Vince inviting you around to show off how big his telly was. And oh god, it's like they didn't even really try for Mania 36. I mean, talk about basic. Jeez, WWE. Jeez. Welcome to Honor Wrestling Club. And here are the 10 greatest WrestleMania stages ever built. Make sure that you subscribe to Honor Wrestling Club. Now, in at number 10, we have WrestleMania 29, also known as the Bridge One. Deeply upsetting when a really bad Mania makes it onto a positive top 10 list, but here we are. It's a giant bridge, and I have a lot of respect for giant bridges. Call me a lad of basic sensibilities, but I love a towering structure, and this Mania's design is full of them. From the scale model of the Brooklyn Bridge, it looks friggin' amazing during Undertaker's entrance, to the ring canopy decked out like the New York skyline, with a giant gift shop Statue of Liberty perched on top. The bridge itself is a little featureless for something so big, which is why this set ranked a little low. Also, it's worth mentioning that this is a toilet WrestleMania. You've got 8 matches, and 3 of them were Chris Jericho versus Fandango, Mark Henry versus Ryback, and Alberto Del Rio versus Swagger. Okay, but hey, at least you weren't bored whilst you were watching it. They gave you something really nice to look at. In number 9, we have WrestleMania 27, aka the one with the big spider. Now you'll never be able to unsee it. You can call this Mania the Wild Wild West WrestleMania because it features a giant spider, it's centred almost entirely around the very charismatic movie star, and is otherwise a gigantic waste of time and money. A lot of people, myself included, rank this as one of the top 3 worst Manias of all time. You got Miz Cena Restart main event, Snooki, Lawler vs Cole, Somebody Stop Me. It's dreadful, terrible stuff. But damn if its stage isn't a really clean, eye-catching design. The gigantic WrestleMania curved lettering is legitimately awesome, and the sense of curve and slightly wrapped perspective created by the spider legs and their own red lights pressed up against that huge screen creates some really great visuals throughout the night. Also, the Cube, herald the Cube. You know that thing that would randomly lower throughout the night for some reason, and always look good in ways I can't quite justify? Can we talk about Good Mania now, please? In number 8, we have WrestleMania X7, aka the Classic. Not as tall as you remember, but it's still pretty damn excellent. The first big WrestleMania stage, and the perfect complement to the biggest card in wrestling history. I remember watching this WrestleMania, and I genuinely thought the stage reached up to the goddamn clouds. It blew my socks out through my ears. Looking back, there are better stages, but there's no denying the timelessness of this design. The 2 giant screen pillars shooting straight up, none of the excess offshoot scaffolding that certain 2000 Manias would become obsessed with. The pillars would change colour throughout the night, decorated in a very cool WrestleMania X7 lettering. They didn't actually fit entirely on the pillars you were attending WrestleMan. Oh dear, the 2 layered screens that wrestlers would enter through, flashing up the looping graphic of those golden lines that transport you directly back to the Attitude Era at a better time. Like most aspects of the Attitude Era, it's not quite as good as you remember, but it's still pretty damn great, especially during The Rock's entrance in the main event. That's perfect lighting. I love it. And at number 7, we have WrestleMania 25, aka the one with the typo. WrestleMania 25, aka the 24th anniversary of WrestleMania, I will let it go when I die and not a second before. Huge lettering hanging over the entire show mocking me, idiot. That being said, it's a really nice stage design. Not one you hear people talk about all that much, maybe because it's a fairly middling Mania. I mean, Michael's Taker's great, and Steamboat have an incredible run. But aside from that, it's got a performance from Kid Rock in it, for God's sake, which I'm pretty sure not even Kid Rock enjoyed. The slight busyness of the multi-layered screen pillars intercut with lighting rigs is offset by the ginormous star. Honestly, this will make me sound like the biggest bougie polo shirt, but the diamond texture on the star really works for me. Striking visually, a really solid and clean composition when all taken together, and that star is proper affront to God massive, which is precisely as massive as a WrestleMania stage should be. It looks great during race entrance, but the real gem is HBK's angelic descent, the huge panels of white and glowing white hearts surrounding him. Gorgeous. WrestleMania 32's star-based design? Nowhere near as good. In number 6 we have WrestleMania 23, aka the really bloody big one. It's really bloody big. Mania 23 is something of an underrated Mania in the eyes of the fans, if not the eyes of the bank, because goddamn did 23 make some money. HBK Cena was great, Batista Taker was great, Great Khali vs Kane was there. It makes sense that for 5 years Mania 23 was the highest selling WWE pay-per-view of all time, because everything about it reeked of ostentation. From the battle of the two tackiest rich people to ever buy a gold toilet, to the stage which is as tall as you remember the Mania X7 set being, and then like twice as tall as that. The two pillars shooting out the ground, encircled by rings of lighting rig. The white curtains angled to give it a cool shape, the colossal screen, and the shafts of scaffolding that slice through the area above the ramp and ring. I'm not wild on those, especially when they obscure the main stage, but it's hard to argue against the sheer epic scale of everything. Look at Batista taking bloody ages to dad run around the stage. He's blown up before he even starts. That's how big this whole thing is. In number 5 we have WrestleMania 24, aka the really, really big one. Hold my beer, says Mania 24. Look, this is a weird design, and I can understand people not really liking it, because it essentially looks like a giant Hampton Inn or a 3-star hotel in the Costa del Sol. Also, it sort of looks like the casino version of a giant middle finger. But guys, look, none of it matters, because it's so blooming big. You guys, seriously, it's so damn big. And that quantity becomes a quality all of itself. WrestleMania is all about grandeur, and what's more grandiose in the giant pillar with the WrestleMania letters on it punching straight into God's house. It looks majestic, all in gold during the HBO's final official ring entrance in WWE, and looks even better during Edge's entrance in the main event. Every square inch of it bursting with fireworks and static. If the SmackDown Hotel looked half as good as the Mania 24 set, I would happily check myself in. In number 4 we have WrestleMania 26, aka the stupid one. Ah yes, what nonsense. Quite often WrestleMania stages are themed after the cities or the state in which they take place. The huge star of WrestleMania 25 as a reference to Texas as the Lone Star State. The huge palm tree surrounding the ring at Mania 28 in Miami, and the set of WrestleMania 36 was modelled after Orlando's famous WWE Performance Center. Mania 26 took place in Arizona, so it only made sense to honour that state's Mexican heritage with a ziggurat-style Aztec pyramid. Some expert claims that the area was actually the original land that birthed the Mexican people was actually in ancient Arizona. Not sure if that's actually true, but it was good enough for WWE to build this massive structure, which is too big and it's very silly, but damn if it's not completely won me over the more I've seen it. The multiple steps, each with a squash screen and fireworks positioned on top. That giant slab stuck right on the middle, looking like the world's finest and most dangerous looking slide. The massive pyramid canopy over the ring. It's really great, especially during HBK's final official entrance in the main event, because Crown Jewel 2018 never happened. Massively silly, much like WrestleMania itself. Watching Bret Hart tap out Vince McMahon with a giant Aztec temple in the background is a very silly thing, and a reminder why professional wrestling is the dumbest but best thing in the world. In number 3, we have WrestleMania 30, aka the sex number. Lol, Triple X is the sex number. Well, it's the other sex number. I really hope I'm alive for WrestleMania 69. I'm reliably informed it'll be nice. Another absolutely colossal monster of a stage, this. Mania 30 is also proper gorgeous. The rich purple colouring throughout really works. The gigantic fleur-de-lis WrestleMania sign, so big it could crush a hospital, and the 3 X's, which really could have undone the whole design, serve to create the perfect entranceway for the wrestlers. Mania 30 was the final wrestler to be officially numbered by the big dog until last year, with all the others in between just being called WrestleMania. Like the sequel to a horror movie made decades earlier, having the exact same name for no reason. And those 3 X's saw that era of Mania go out in grand style. The show turned out to be monumental for a number of reasons, and it was only appropriate that the stage was one of the best and most epic ever built. Also, it's very important to note that Mania 30's production managed to be epic without erecting giant pillars around the ring to block the eyesight for the poor sods on the arena floor. Bad luck, idiot. But for real, what is it about New Orleans and gorgeous manias? Because, number 2, we have WrestleMania 34, aka the really colourful one. Gorgeous, just beautiful. Not so much the Mardi Gras mask aspect of the design, which is eyes wide shut crossed with a court gesture, and stunning if only in its sheer scale. It's just how colourful the whole thing is. The purple of Mania's last trip to New Orleans is present and correct, don't get me wrong, but it's complemented by the Joker green writing. I'm also normally a bit cold on excess scaffolding, but I love the crown of lighting rig pillars that plunge from the ceiling above the ring. For the longest time, WWE was obsessed with making all of its WrestleMania setups exist only in the blue end of the colour spectrum. Mania 34 is possibly the most vibrant stage WWE have ever made, and is not only a brilliant pairing for the New Orleans vibe of loud, colourful excess, but also it makes the show feel like a huge party that I really want to be a part of. Love how they use the face mask throughout the show too. Seth Rollins' White Walker entrance rules. Charlotte's huge eyes are very fun and silly. The glowing demon eyes for Brock. It's a lot of fun. But perhaps not quite as fun as number 1, WrestleMania 33, aka the best one. It's got an honest to god roller coaster on it. Are you kidding it? How could it be anything else? It's so beautiful. It's not even the insane excess of having the loop lighting rig. It's the globe above the ramp, shimmering in blue and green with the WrestleMania writing over it. It looks so good. The golden steps underneath it, the flare tunnel of LED panels in the entranceway, the elevated ramp, the huge walls of colour, the ridiculous giant ring above the ring that made so many fans manage to convince themselves before the show that Shane McMahon was going to jump off, and the roller coaster. It's wow. Like, seriously, wow. WWE can be absolutely backwards in a lot of ways regarding their own product, but what they do better than every wrestling game in town, yes, even New Japan and Wrestle Kingdom, is put on the biggest, most flamboyant wrestling party of the year every single year. It was an absolute privilege to see the Camping World Stadium, to see Mania 33 stage in all its glory, until The Undertaker set it on fire because he was grumpy about losing to Roman Reigns, which in 2017 is fair enough. And that's our list. So what did we miss? Did we miss out your favourite Mania stage? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and share this video around, and subscribe to Honor Wrestling Club for more very stupid wrestling content just like this. Welcome to the club.